Let me ask you something, and I want you to be really honest with yourself right now. When you look at your bank account, does it look like a millionaire lives there? Because if it does, congratulations. You can go ahead and click off this video and go buy another yacht. But if you looked at that number and your soul left your body just a little bit, then, sweet friend, you are exactly where you need to be right now, and I am so glad you are here. Welcome. I am so excited to talk to you today about something that has genuinely changed the way I see money, success, and what is actually possible for my life. We are going to talk about thinking like a millionaire. And before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh, great, another person telling me to just believe harder and the money will fall from the sky," I promise you this is different. We are going to do a 30-day mindset challenge together, and by the end of this video, you are going to have real, practical tools that you can start using today. Not next Monday, not after you finish that Netflix series, today. But first, I need to acknowledge something. If you have been struggling with money, if you have been working really hard and still feeling like you are running on a hamster wheel that is slightly on fire, you are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not cursed, even though sometimes it might feel that way. What you are is a person who was handed a set of beliefs about money, probably very early in life, that were never designed to make you wealthy. They were designed to keep you safe, to keep you small, to keep you right where everyone around you was. And there is no shame in that, none whatsoever. The shame would only be in knowing that and doing nothing about it. Here is the core problem, and it is so sneaky, you probably have not even noticed it. Most of us are walking around every single day with a money story running in the background of our minds like an app we never downloaded but cannot seem to delete. Things like money does not grow on trees, rich people are greedy, I am just not good with numbers, wanting more is selfish. Sound familiar? Maybe you heard these things growing up. Maybe you picked them up from friends or culture or just the general energy of the people around you. And here is the wild thing. Your brain, your beautiful, brilliant brain, is literally working 24 hours a day to prove those beliefs right. That is what brains do. They find evidence for whatever they already believe to be true. So, if deep down you believe that wealth is not for people like you, your brain will cheerfully sabotage every opportunity that comes your way and then hand you a receipt going, "See, I told you so." This is what psychologists call a scarcity mindset, and researchers have actually found that it does not just affect your emotions, it affects your cognitive function. When people are in a state of financial stress and lack, their brains literally have less bandwidth for decision-making, creativity, and long-term thinking. So the people who need the best financial decisions the most are actually the ones whose brains are least equipped to make them in that moment. Is that not the most frustrating thing you have ever heard? It is like the universe has a terrible sense of humor. But here is the beautiful flip side. When you start to shift your mindset, when you start to deliberately choose thoughts of abundance and possibility, you free up that mental space. You start seeing opportunities you were blind to before. You start making different decisions. And slowly, wonderfully, your outer world begins to reflect your inner world. This is not magic. Well, it is a little magic. But it is also science. And it is also deeply practical. And here is how we are going to do it together over 30 days. The first thing I want you to do, starting today, is a money audit. Not of your finances, of your thoughts. For just one day, I want you to notice every single thought you have about money. Write them down if you can. You might be shocked. You might catch yourself thinking things like, I could never afford that, or that is only for rich people, or I always mess up when it comes to money. Those thoughts are the software running your financial life. And just like bad software, once you can see it, you can start to rewrite it. The second step, and this is where it gets fun, is what I call the flip. For every limiting belief you catch, I want you to flip it into a question that opens a door instead of closing one. Instead of I could never afford that, try how could I create the resources to have that? Instead of money is hard to come by, try what if money could come to me in surprising and delightful ways? Your brain does not know the difference between a fact and a question that feels true. When you ask it a better question, it goes to work finding better answers. It is like upgrading your GPS. Suddenly you are getting directions to places you did not even know existed. The third step is to spend 15 minutes every morning for these 30 days doing what I call a prosperity practice. And before you say you do not have 15 minutes, I promise you have been spending longer than that scrolling through photos of other people's vacations. So let us redirect that energy. Your prosperity practice has 3 parts. First, you spend 5 minutes writing about what you already have that you are grateful for. And I mean really specific things. Not just, I am grateful for my health, but I am grateful that I woke up this morning and my legs carried me to the kitchen and I got to drink a hot cup of coffee while the world was still quiet. Specificity is the difference between going through the motions and actually feeling it. And you have to feel it. The feeling is the fuel. Second, spend 5 minutes writing as if you already have the financial life you want. Describe it in present tense, in detail, with joy. Not, I want to have a successful business, but I love waking up every day and doing work that lights me up and pays me incredibly well. I love the freedom to choose how I spend my time. I love being a person who gives generously and still has more than enough. Your subconscious mind responds to repetition and emotion. Give it both every single morning and watch what starts to shift. Third, spend 5 minutes reading about someone who built wealth from nothing or very little, not to make you feel bad about yourself, but to give your brain evidence that it is possible. Your brain loves evidence. Feed it good evidence. Stories of ordinary people who changed their money story are everywhere, and every single one of them started with a decision that their current circumstances were not their permanent address. The fourth strategy is to start taking what I call millionaire micro actions every day. This does not mean spending money you do not have. It means practicing the habits of a person who manages wealth well. Open a savings account if you do not have one and put $5 in it. Read 1 page of a book about personal finance. Negotiate 1 bill or subscription. Introduce yourself to one person who is further along financially than you are. These small actions are not just practical, they are deeply symbolic. Every time you take one, you are sending a message to yourself that says, I am a person who takes their financial future seriously, and that identity shift is worth more than any single action. The fifth, and honestly one of the most powerful things you can do, is to start monitoring your emotional response to other people's success. This one is uncomfortable, but stay with me. When you see someone else doing well financially, what do you feel? If it is bitterness or resentment, or that sneaky little voice that says must be nice, or they probably did something shady to get there, that is a clue. A big, flashing neon clue. Because every time we resent someone else's abundance, we are unconsciously telling ourselves that abundance is something to be suspicious of. And then we wonder why it keeps its distance. Instead, try something radical. When you see someone else thriving, say to yourself, "Wonderful, if it is possible for them, it is possible for me." Use their success as evidence of what is available in this world. Let it expand your sense of the possible rather than contract it. Now here is your call to action, and I mean right now, before this video is even over. I want you to write down one limiting belief you have about money. Just one. It can be small. Write it down, and then write the flip, the open door question version of it. That is it. That is your homework for today. One belief, one flip, done. Do not overthink it. Do not wait until you have a pretty journal and the perfect pen. A napkin works. The Notes app on your phone works. Just do it. And then I want you to come back tomorrow and do day 2 of our 30-day challenge. Because here is what I know to be absolutely true. The life you dream about is not waiting for you to earn it or deserve it or get lucky enough to stumble into it. It is waiting for you to become the version of yourself who believes it is already yours. That version of you does not live in some distant future. She or he is one thought away, one belief shift away, one brave decision away from stepping fully into the room. You are not behind. You are not too old or too young or too anything. You are right on time, showing up with enough courage to ask for more, and that alone puts you ahead of most people on this planet. I am so proud of you for being here. Now go do your homework, come back tomorrow, and let us keep going together, because we are just getting started, and honey, the best part is absolutely ahead of us. Drop a comment below and tell me one money belief you are ready to let go of today. I read every single one, and I cannot wait to cheer you on. And if this landed for you, please share it with someone who needs it, because your generosity might be exactly the thing that changes someone else's life today. I will see you tomorrow. Let us go.